Jimmy Arias, unprofessional movie reviewer. Hey guys, Jimmy here. Hope you're doing well. I know I am. So, just a little while ago, but maybe about an hour ago, my good friend Johnny posted something on his Facebook, and I want to tell the world because it's one of the nicest things anyone has ever said, and I want to share that with you because Johnny has influenced a decent part of this video. So he posted, and I'm gonna post a picture. I wanted to say that I have been so incredibly fortunate to connect with so many awesome people through my time on YouTube. And right now the feeling came across me to express how lucky I feel that Jimmy Arias was one of those people and now one of my very best friends. How funny is it that through the internet you can meet someone halfway across the country that totally gets you. Love you, man. Johnny, I love you too, bro. And the feeling is mutual because I do feel the same way. It just sucks that you live halfway across the country in Texas and I'm in California. And I know you want me to move out to you, but my brother probably doesn't want that. So if you want, you could come down to California, have a rock, paper, scissors death match, and decide who gets to keep me. Because I am special like that, or not. He just loves me for my Wii U, and you have one, so it might work out. Anyways, since you also influenced this video in that method, that way, you also influenced it because I'm going to review a movie you recommended to me. So for those of you who don't know, Johnny, and I just clicked away, Johnny reviewed this movie a while ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it was at least a few months ago. And he reviewed this movie, and he recommended it, and it really piqued my interest because it seemed like something I would love. I had watched the trailer. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, and just kind of forgot about it because a bunch of other things came up. And more recently, it popped up on Netflix, and I figured now's as good a time as any to watch this fantastic film, or possibly fantastic film. And then I watched Straight Outta Compton, and then Johnny was like, why would you do that to me? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm watching it now. And then I watched it last night, and let's find out what I thought about it. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and assume you didn't watch Johnny's video and that you have no idea what Turbo Kid is. So Turbo Kid is a movie directed by Francois Simard, Anouk Wissel, Johan Carl Wissel. Look, I mispronounce these people's names. I already know that for a fact. So if you're watching this, I do apologize. Feel free to mispronounce my name all you want. And it stars Monroe Chambers as the Kid, Lawrence LaBeouf as Apple, Michael Ironside as Zeus, and Aaron Jeffrey as Frederick. There are more characters, but those are the ones that you see pretty heavily in the trailer, with the exception of Skeletron, played by Edwin Wright. So what's this movie about? So this movie takes place in an alternate version of 1997, where it's post-apocalyptic and they've run out of water, and that's the most prized possession during this time. Side note, Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers movie both came out in 1997, and they both had a kid on their team named Justin. Justin is the original Turbo Kid. I just wanted to make that connection before I move on. So, who is in this movie? So, besides the cast, pretty much the Kid, he is a scavenger. So he goes out looking for potentially useful and valuable things to trade for other potentially useful and valuable things. One of those being water. So he goes, to get water. So during one of these times, he encounters a friend, a person named Apple, and Apple becomes his friend, and during, they kind of do their thing, go on an adventure, and during this time, he finds a suit. That suit just happens to be the suit of his favorite superhero, Turbo Rider. The suit has a power glove, and it's fully functional, so he could blast people with his super powerful glove, so he could defend himself in this wasteland. there is a villain named Zeus and his right-hand man, Skeletron. Now, Skeletron, he's designed really cool. He has a skull. He has this like blade saw thing that shoots blades, and he's designed really cool. And overall, this movie is not as fast-paced as you'd expect it to be, because watching the trailer, it's like, you know, everything's kind of happening all at once. Of course, it's just a trailer, but it moves at a good pace. It's not super slow where you're dreading watching this movie, but it's not super fast where you're trying to keep up. It paces itself really, really well, just slower paced than I expected it to be. And overall, it's a fun movie that I definitely recommend for anyone who wants to see. Obviously, I'm trying to keep the details pretty vague because I don't want to spoil it. You know, I saw one review about this movie beforehand and knew very little going in, and from what I'm telling you, that's what you'd probably find out in the trailer. Nothing really spoilery or anything like that. But I like the characters. There was one character specific that I thought I was going to find really annoying during the film, because they were kind of annoying when they were first introduced. But as the film went on, I grew to like this character. So there was no character which I hated. I hated Skeletron, but not because he was a bad character, but because he was an asshole. Am I allowed to say an asshole? Yeah, he was an asshole. And you'll see that in the movie. And overall, I think this movie deserves a lot of praise. All of the praise that's been getting, it's totally deserved. Unfortunately, it's an independent movie, so it's not going to get a ton of praise because it's a small film. But the praise that it's getting, it's well deserved, and I definitely recommend watching it. If I were to give it a rating, I give it a 10.5 out of 11 stars. Why 11? Because 10 is too mainstream, I guess. I don't know. My rating system makes no sense. But I do give it a pretty high rating. Pretty much, it's up there. It's up there with movies that I really enjoy. And it's one of those movies that it has a good story, it has likable characters, cool designs, amazing music. I forgot to mention the music earlier. The soundtrack, it is phenomenal. It is something straight out of the 80s. Everything out of this movie feels like it's ripped straight out of the 80s. It's like you would give Johnny, Mr. Tejas, you would give him, as a child, a ton of candy and told him to write a movie. This would be the movie he'd write, probably. And it was really well executed. And it's one of those movies that you could have fun watching. It's a movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, and overall it definitely benefits from that. But you could tell that everyone involved really loved working on this project, and it definitely shows through this movie. So again, I give this a solid 10.5 out of 11 stars, and I say watch it immediately. It's on Netflix. You don't have any other excuse to not watch this movie. The only valid excuse is I don't have a Netflix account, and if that's the case, start a free 30-day trial at netflix.com/Jimmy. Just kidding, I'm not sponsored, but you could start a free trial just by going to netflix.com. And of course, not sponsoring me, because who would want to sponsor this? Anyways, guys, let me know what I should talk about next week. I want to do a Q&A, so if you guys have questions for me, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next week. Maybe sooner. Hopefully sooner for your sake. Or not. You probably don't want to watch me anymore. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next week. The FTBA. Side note, because I know a few people have already asked me, Rita Repulsa, yeah, go back to Power Rangers. Rita Repulsa was cast in the new movie. She's being played by Elizabeth Banks, and a few people asked how I felt about it. And it wasn't someone that I had in mind at first. But the more I think about it, the more I think she would do a good job. She's not a bad actress. She could play a character that's out there, as seen in the Hunger Games. And I think she'd do a good job. Do I think they should have cast an Asian actress instead? Sure. But I don't think that's going to deter the movie from being any less good. I think she was a good choice. If it makes any purists feel any better, the only reason that Rita Repulsa was Asian is because it was from Japanese stock footage, and Rita Repulsa, she's an alien, and I'm sure they're gonna put a bunch of prosthetics on Elizabeth Banks to make her look more alien-ish. She's a space witch, and Elizabeth Banks is too pretty to be a space witch, so we'll see how that goes.